Good morning, guys. So this is my 2012 Ram 1500 Sport 4x4, and it has a 6-inch rough country suspension lift with 35 1250s. That's a negative 44 offset. One thing I noticed when I did my lift, there wasn't a lot of videos out there. There was one for a 4-inch, but it's a lot different because the 4-inch is a direct bolt-on. Doesn't require any type of cutting or anything. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys everything that had to be done and give you some tips that I had to learn the hard way. So first thing first, we'll go over, and the biggest issue that we ran into was removing the upper control arm. The bolts would not come off. Even though we put the wrench down on the bottom, we still couldn't get enough bite down here to get that bolt twisted off. If you have trouble doing that, it's pretty simple. You can just take a torch or any type, like one of the little propane torches, heat the bolt up because it has Loctite on there, and you can spin it off that way. A pneumatic impact wrench, so like an air wrench, would work extremely well. We were using electric, so I don't think it had enough torque to pull them off. The second issue that we had was getting the wheel bearings out of the old panels. So what I did is I just decided, since I was putting new tires, and I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go ahead and put new wheel bearings in. So I skipped that process, but I still had to get the wheel bearings out to get my dust shrouds because I couldn't find them anywhere. So I just took some big bolts and threw on the back side right here where the bolts are. There's 3, and took a sledgehammer and started hammering and finally got them out. You do not have to press the new wheel bearings in the new pendles, so that was real nice. But overall, looking at the lift from underneath, it's really nice. It's beefy. The directions are really good. So what I did is use the video on YouTube and the directions. The directions are they just leave out some parts, so you'll have to interpret some stuff like that. But down at the bottom, when you're trying to remove this lower ball joint, you're just going to hit right here and it's going to pull that out. Again, hitting the pinhole there. So that's for the front.
You didn't break anything yet, did you?
I don't know. Just doing a little tutorial. Okay, the part that's on a 6-inch lift that you're going to have to cut, which when I called in, they didn't say anything about having to cut, is this right here. All right, so as you can tell, there's the passenger side. So all you do is you just cut this section right here, which they give you a template, which is really nice. You just cut, and what that allows is the space for your front differential. The skid plate bolts right on. It comes with the spacer for the drive shaft as well. So this is from the underside looking at the driver. I would highly recommend buying the struts that they sell, and here's why. Since you're already going to have to compress the spring, all right, which is something that wasn't told to me when I bought it. You have to compress these springs to put the spacer on the top. I thought it was just a bolt-on spacer, but it's not. You actually have to compress that spring, and if you're going to try to use a spring compressor, good luck. I bent 2 of them trying to compress those damn strut springs. So I would just recommend, if you're going to spend the money to have someone change them out, I think it was $50 for me. You might as well buy the new struts. So now I'm going to have to go back and pay another $50 to have them put new struts in. But you'll have that peace of mind of having new wheel bearings and new struts with your brand new lift. All right, so that is the front. Pretty simple. Okay. All right, so let me walk around to the back. If you have a lift, so I did this in my driveway, and I had huge 1-ton jack stands that helped out a lot. Okay, there's a lot back here that you do. I know on the directions it's only like a page and a half, and you think it's going to be fast. It is not. All right, so you have to take the springs out. There's another spacer up here that you put in. All right, so if you're on a lift, you can just pull the axle down and try to shove it in. If not, you're gonna have to compress the springs like I did, because I did this by myself, so those were fun. You relocate your sway bar, and you install the new, to be honest, I don't even know what those are called, drag bars or traction bars maybe. So you install new ones of those. What's funny is they're the same size as the old ones, but back here it's wider. So I'm not exactly sure the point of that, but I would assume, I don't know, it's beefier. But the directions say that it only takes 7 to 8 hours. So I'm very mechanically inclined, and I also had a diesel mechanic helping me out. And I will tell you right now, it did not take us 7 to 8 hours. It took more like 10 to 14 hours. We just kept running into issue after issue with trying to get bolts off. And this is a newer truck. The truck is extremely clean. That's why I'm doing this video, is like to teach you guys, or at least help you guys. The torch, heating up those bolts because of the Loctite, that'll be your best friend. Knowing that you have to compress the springs beforehand, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll tell you, I'm 100% impressed with the ride. The customer service from Rough Country has been amazing. I've been working with Todd over there, and I had a little issue with the rear end was bouncing a lot. I sent him a couple pictures, and he immediately identified the problem, told me my shocks were upside down, and changed those out. I tell you guys, if anyone from Rough Country is watching this, hey, thank you for the work you guys are doing, because I'm super impressed. And yep, she looks like a man's truck now. If you guys happen to have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment, and I will try my best to get back. All right, thanks.